The Transport Ministry on Monday, October 12, signed two memoranda of understanding, one with PSA to jointly develop autonomous truck platooning technology for cargo transport between terminals, and another with Sentosa Development Corp and ST Engineering to test self-driving shuttles across Sentosa. Gardens by the Bay is an enormous horticulture attraction, truly befitting of Singapore's Garden City moniker. As you enter, you will be greeted by pleasant wafts of floral fragrance, courtesy of the many flowers and plants in the compound. The two massive conservatories here, along with the many themed parks and botanical gardens, are home to thousands of plant species. Amidst the lush greenery, the most notable highlight is the Supertree Grove. There are 12, out of the 18 in Singapore, of these structures, which vary from 9 to 16 stories tall. Creating a vertical garden, sustainable plants have been planted all over these super trees, which double up to help conserve energy. These canopy-inspired structures have photovoltaic cells to harvest solar energy, and are integrated with the cooled conservatories to improve ventilation. Adding to the allure of our cherry blossom display in the flower dome, we introduced a Japanese-themed FES Val this year, marking our Phi RST Full FL-edged FES Val experience. Besides the Beauful Sakura in bloom, visitors also enjoyed the different sights, sounds and tastes of Japan. The wide-ranging offerings included a VES inspired by Japanese anime such as Anisong, anime songs, concerts, celebrity cosplayer meet and greet, and a cosplay comp that appealed to youths, a Pikachu parade and Pokemon game booths which were planned for the LE1s, and a display of specialty collectors' ball joint, kimono-clad dolls on loan to the gardens for the show. Cultural highlights like the traditional Japanese tea ceremony, kendo demonstration, Japanese drum performance and a kimono parade, as well as the Sakura Japan Fair featuring popular Japanese food and products, added depth to the FES Val. The year in review saw the launch of the Aloes in Wonderland display at the Succulent Garden, which features plants from the genus Aloe. The display was further enhanced with the addition of several hand-created Alice in Wonderland bronze sculptures donated by a few of our board directors and a new mushroom sculpture. The Australian and South African gardens were refreshed with new Plan NGS in the financial year, and the Flower Dome welcomed 5 Dreewood owl sculptures that adorn various trees in the conservatory, as well as 3 Dreewood condor sculptures at the South American garden. A ramp was also added to the area at the back of the flower field, providing wheelchair and stroller-friendly access and allowing visitors to enjoy an unobstructed view of our plant displays. Stepping into Gardens by the Bay is like entering a wonderland. The most wonderful thing about the gardens is how we get to enjoy flora and fauna from other parts of the world in hot and sunny Singapore. We love standing in front of the cloud forest's mesmerizing man-made waterfall to enjoy the cool breeze and the splash of the falls. So refreshing. There's no bone to pick with the amazing night light and sound shows in the gardens, which we always enjoy. Gardens by the Bay is a place that holds both personal and professional significance for us. When Dennis was studying abroad, the gardens was a constant source of pride for him as a Singaporean and a reflection of Singapore's inspired development. Prior ES, Dennis studied environmental policy and worked on some of Singapore's greenery plans when he came back. So we wanted a wedding that both captured the spirit of this professional preference, and which would be memorable for us and our guests. The Gardens was therefore an easy choice as our wedding venue. Gardens by the Bay is a landmark and a pride of Singapore, and we are really happy to exchange our marital vows in this place. In fact, it was even BER for our friends who flew in from overseas to end the wedding, as they got to enjoy the gardens at the same me too. Celebrate our matrimony in this place with our friends and family will always remain one of our fondest memories. The people at the gardens were also really helpful and prompt in the preparation of our wedding, which made it an enjoyable experience for us. We would like to especially commend Sharon from the business development team. She was very approachable and helpful in me and all our needs for the wedding. While the gardens has grown and matured over the past 5 years, its LL retains the awe and magnify sense it exuded when it Phi RST opened. We have visited and will continue to visit the new exhibits and FES Vals at the gardens in the best years of our marriage journey. Zoe and Dennis Tan held their wedding at the Flower Field Hall on January 13, 2018. Gardens by the Bay is a nature park spanning 101 hectares, 250 acres, of reclaimed land in the central region of Singapore, adjacent to the Marina Reservoir. The park consists of 3 waterfront gardens: Bay South Garden, in Marina South, Bay East Garden, in Marina East, and Bay Central Garden, in downtown Core and Callan. 3. The largest of the gardens is Bay South Garden at 54 hectares, 130 acres, designed by Grant Associates. Its flower dome is the largest glass greenhouse in the world. 4. Gardens by the Bay is part of the nation's plans to transform its garden city to a city in a garden, with the aim of raising the quality of life by enhancing greenery and flora in the city. First announced by the Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong, at the National Day rally in 2005, Gardens by the Bay was intended to be Singapore's premier urban outdoor recreation space, and a national icon. Being one of the popular tourist attractions in Singapore, the park received 6.4 million visitors in 2014, while topping its 20 millionth visitor mark in November 2015. 5. Bay Central Garden will act as a link between Bay South and Bay East Gardens. It stands at 15 hectares, 37 acres, with a 3-kilometer, 1.9 miles, waterfront promenade that allows for scenic walks stretching from the city centre to the east of Singapore. 6 more developments of Bay Central Garden are coming in the next few years. Bay East Garden is 32 hectares, 79 acres, in size, and it has a 2-kilometer, 1.2 miles, promenade frontage bordering the Marina Reservoir. An interim park was developed at Bay East Garden in support of the 2010 Summer Youth Olympics. The first phase of the garden was opened to the public in October 2011, allowing alternative access to the Marina Barrage 7. It is designed as a series of large tropical leaf-shaped gardens, each with its own specific landscaping design, character, and theme. There will be 5 water inlets aligned with the prevailing wind direction, maximizing and extending the shoreline while allowing wind and water to penetrate the site to help cool areas of activity around them. Bay East Garden provides visitors with an unobstructed view of the city skyline. Upcoming developments of Bay East Garden will be based on the theme of water. Bay South Garden opened to the public on 29 June 2012. It is the largest of the 3 gardens at 54 hectares, 130 acres, and aims to showcase the best of tropical horticulture and garden artistry. The overall concept of its master plan by Grant Associates draws inspiration from an orchid, as it is representative of the tropics and of Singapore, being the country's national flower, the Vanda Miss Joaquim. The orchid takes root at the waterfront, conservatories, while the leaves, landforms, shoots, paths, roads, and linkways, and secondary roots, water, energy, and communication lines, then form an integrated network with blooms, theme gardens and super trees, at key intersections. The conservatory complex at Gardens by the Bay, Singapore, comprises 2 cooled conservatories, the Flower Dome, Chinese, and the Cloud Forest, Chinese, situated along the edge of Marina Reservoir. The conservatories, designed by Wilkinson Eyre and Grant Associates, are intended to be an energy-efficient showcase of sustainable building technologies and to provide an all-weather edutainment space within the gardens. Both are very large, around 1 hectare, 2.5 acres, and the Flower Dome is the world's largest columnless glasshouse. 9. Singapore skyline at sunset from Gardens by the Bay. The construction of the glasshouses is special in 2 ways. First of all, by being able to have such large a glass roof without additional interior support, such as columns. Secondly, because the constructions aim strongly at minimizing the environmental footprint. Rainwater is collected from the surface and circulated in the cooling system, which is connected to the super trees. The super trees are used both to vent hot air and to cool circulated water. 10. Flower Dome at the main avenue in the Flower Dome. The South American garden, the Flower Dome, is the lower but larger of the 2, at 1.2 hectares, 3.0 acres. It replicates a mild, dry climate and features plants found in the Mediterranean and other semi-arid tropical regions, e.g. parts of Australia, South America, South Africa. The Flower Dome is 38 meters, 125 feet, high and maintains a temperature between 23 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius, slightly lower at night. The Flower Dome features 7 different gardens as well as an olive grove with a bistro, and a central changing display field has also been incorporated to enable flower shows and displays to be held within the conservatory. Here is the list of some plants growing in the Flower Dome. 11 Children's Garden Edit designed by Grant Associates, which also designed Gardens by the Bay. The Children's Garden was fully funded by Far East Organization for $10 million. This is an attraction for kids aged 6 and below and 12 years old. This attraction was opened on January 21, 2014. The Children's Garden is near the Treehouse and the Adventure Trail. The Adventure Trail consists of trampolines, balancing beams, hanging bridges, and many more. It is open on Tuesdays to Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It will be closed on Mondays, or on the next working day if Monday is a public holiday. 14 Horticultural Themed Gardens Edit. There are 2 distinctly different sets of horticultural themed gardens which center on the horticultural heritage of the various cultural groups in Singapore and on the biology and ecology of gardens and forests. They are an important part of the Gardens Edutainment program, which aims to bring plant knowledge to the public. The Heritage Gardens theme features gardens that highlights the various cultural groups in Singapore and the important role that plants play in their respective cultures, as well as the country's colonial history. It also focuses on economically important plants to Singapore and Southeast Asia. The 4 gardens are the Indian Garden, the Chinese Garden, the Malay Garden and the Colonial Garden. 15 The World of Plants theme emphasizes the web of relationships amongst the various plants within a fragile forest setting, showcasing the biodiversity of plant life on the planet. It consists of 6 sub-themes illustrated by 6 gardens, which are named Discovery, Web of Life, Fruits and Flowers, Understory, World of Palms, and Secret Life of Trees. 16 Bayfront Plaza and Floral Fantasy Edit. A model by the Urban Redevelopment Authority of the future garden at Marina South. The Bayfront Plaza is the main entry precinct into the gardens from Bayfront MRT station. It includes a brand new attraction called Floral Fantasy, which comprises of 4 garden landscapes of floral artistry and a futuristic 4D ride experience. The 1500 SQM Floral Fantasy will be featuring 4 diverse garden landscapes, each showcasing a different concept of floral artistry, as well as a 4D multimedia ride simulating the journey of a dragonfly's flight path through Gardens by the Bay. Included is also an indoor events space, the Bayfront Pavilion, a cafe, and a food and beverage fair on weekends. The planet of Xandar in the film adaptation of Guardians of the Galaxy took inspiration from the location 22. The documentary series Planet Earth 2 features the Supertree Grove in Episode 7, A World of Wonder. The park was featured in the 2015 film, Hitman, Agent 47 23 24 25 26. An entire mission is set within the gardens in the 2015 video game, Call of Duty, Black Ops 3 27 28 29. The anime series Plastic Memories features locations inspired by the super trees in the gardens. 30 The Supertree Grove in the park was featured in the 2018 film, Crazy Rich Asians. The final construction cost for the project, not including the price of the land but including an access road, drainage works, and soil improvement, was within a $1.035 billion allocated budget. 17 The annual operating cost was expected to be approximately $58 million, of which $28 million was for operation of the conservatory buildings. The project received 1.7 million visitors between June and October 2012, who had free admission to most portions of the park but were required to purchase tickets for entering the conservatory's 18. In 2006, an international competition for the design of the park was held, attracting more than 70 entries submitted by 170 firms from 24 countries. 2 British firms, Grant Associates 19 and Gustafson Porter, were awarded the contracts for the Bay South and Bay East Gardens respectively. Alongside the lead designers Grant Associates, the design team for Bay South included Wilkinson Eyre, Atelier 10, environmental design consultants, and Atelier 1, structural engineers. They were supported by a number of Singapore firms including CPG Consultants, Architecture, Civil and Structural, Mechanical and Electrical, Meinhardt Infrastructure, Civil and Structural, Langdon & C, Cost Consultants, and PM Link, Project Management. The nearest mass rapid transit station is Bayfront MRT station. The Gardens by the Bay MRT station, under construction, will open in 2021-20. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. Your support is always appreciated.